Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Skyline Park in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity girls soccer contest between the visiting Hillers of Hopkinton High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. Folks, you might notice Wi-Fi is a little disagreeable out here at Skyline as it usually is. I'm hopeful it's, passable enough. I'm hopeful at least you guys are able to hear my calls during this one. If nothing else, and as always, I'm recording this while live streaming, so I will be able to upload a fully recorded version of the broadcast later tonight, so don't worry. But for now, let's take a look at the two teams coming into today's contest. Brookline coming into this one with a record of 4 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties. They dropped 1 spot in the power rankings, which came out Friday morning. Brookline dropped down from 3rd to 4th following an upset loss at Braintree on Tuesday, 2-1. So Brookline hoping to bounce back from that, as that loss snapped a stretch where Brookline had gone 4-0-2 after an 0-3 start to the year. So Brookline hoping to get back in the win column, and it's going to be a fair amount of a challenge for them given their opponent, the Hopkinton Hillers. Hopkinton coming into this one with a undefeated 10-0 record. The Hillers, due to a weaker strength of schedule, ranked 9th in Friday's power rankings. And so they're hoping that a match against a high-ranking opponent like Brookline will allow them to put a little more respect on their name, so to speak. Hopkinton, of course, like Brookline, went to the Final Four last year. The Hillers lost in the Final Four to Bishop-Sheehan 1-0. So we got the two teams that lost in last year's Final Four matching up in today's contest. They faced each other in the regular season last year in the 2023 season opener in Hopkinton. The Hillers took the win in that one by a 2-1 final. So Brookline will be hoping for a different result here. And folks, I'm not alone on today's broadcast. Joining me now, my color commentator and Brookline High freshman, Sam Lowenstein. Sam, thank you for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me on yet again. Jesse here for this Sunday contest. Last time I was on with you. It was a 1-1 draw between Brookline and Bishop-Sheehan. A really even, well-played game between the two sides. That Brookline got some good chances. Bishop-Sheehan looked dangerous, had some really star performances from their players. And I think Brookline today, they're set up pretty well.
And indeed, it's going to be another high-level competition you're going to be seeing today, Sam. Like I said, this Hopkinton team battled quite evenly with that Bishop-Sheehan squad last year. Granted, different teams, kids graduate and all that, but Bishop-Sheehan was number 2 in the final power rankings last year and finished as the state runner-up. Hopkinton was number 3 in the power rankings last year and lost to Bishop-Sheehan in the Final Four. So a very strong team. They come in with a undefeated 10-0 record after going 17-0-1 last season to earn that 3rd spot in the power rankings. Brookline coming into this contest at 4-4-2, ranked 4th in the current power this year. Biggest strength of schedule scores of anyone in Division I with the quality of opponents they've faced. So we'll see how this one shakes out here today. I'm going to run our intro video, and then we're going to go through some rosters. So alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Skyline Park, and you are watching Brookline High Soccer. Chernychev launches one high, header, score! Lila Cannon! A big chance for Gallivan, turns around, shot blocked by Kesselman. Freeze, gets around the last one, charging in, shot, scores! All right, now let's take a look at the rosters as we get ready to start this one. We're about 7 minutes out from our scheduled start time of 4 p.m., which was moved a little later from our original planned start time of 2 p.m. But let's take a look at the rosters, starting with the visiting Hopkinton Hillers over here on our right. Going in order of jersey number for Hopkinton, first off we have a junior number 00, Isla Chase. Next, a junior number 0, Ella Nye. A junior number 4, Allison Green. A senior number 5, Avery Michaud. A senior number 6, Laura Mosher. A senior captain number 7, Fotini Granzos. A sophomore number 8, Sofia Zoganatos. A junior number 9, Myron O'Connor. A senior captain number 10, Madison Recupero. A senior captain number 11, Nina Zoganatos. A senior number 12, Aubrey Thomas. A junior number 13, Emma Prisco. A senior captain number 14, Anna Lee Krantz. A junior number 15, Allison Desmond. A senior number 16, Anaga Kulkarni. A senior number 17, Nicole Tedstone. A junior number 18, Ashley McCann. A junior number 19, Elise Jacome. A freshman number 20, Natalie Prisco. A freshman number 21, Riley Colleran. A freshman number 22, Catherine Chow. A freshman number 23, Eva Lakoch. A junior number 24, Alex Clark. And a freshman number 99, Taylor Scaff. Head coach of the Hopkinton High girls soccer team is Tom Skiba. So that's the roster for Hopkinton. Now we move over to our left, taking a look at the roster for the Brookline High Warriors. Going in order of jersey number for Brookline, first off we have a sophomore number 1, Hannah Greer. Next, a junior with 1 assist so far this season, number 3, Elin Lindgren Palm. A senior number 4, Ashley Sherwin. A sophomore with 1 goal this season, number 6, Paige Hammond. A junior with 1 goal, number 7, Amalia Lindgren Palm. A sophomore with 1 assist, number 8, Juliana Siegel. A senior captain with 4 goals, number 9, McKenna Hammond. A senior with 1 assist, number 11, Nora Shue. A sophomore, number 12, Jamie McGee. A junior with 1 assist, number 13, Julia Vianello. A junior with 1 goal and 2 assists, actually she wears number 29, Mirabelle Kesselman. A senior, number 15, Babette Hall. A sophomore, number 16, Haley Ament. A senior with 1 assist, number 17, Greta Radke. A senior captain with 1 goal and 3 assists, number 8. A junior, number 19, Jada Kimbrough. A junior, number 20, Priscilla Hill. A junior with 2 goals, number 21, Lila Cannon. A junior, number 22, Eva Berkson. A senior captain with 3 goals and 1 assist, number 23, Vilena Chernichev. A senior captain with 5 goals and 2 assists, number 26, Sydney Freeze. A sophomore goalie, number 37, Chloe Price. And a senior goalie, number 38, Julia Cherwin. Head coach of the Brookline High girls soccer team is Ben Peters. So those are our 2 rosters coming into today. A reminder, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. All that information in the description section down below, as is a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, girls and boys, varsity, JV, and freshmen. So we're about to get this one started. Brookline versus Hopkinton. And Sam, I mentioned earlier, Brookline going to be trying to bounce back after a tough upset loss to Braintree 2-1 on Tuesday. What do you think is going to be the key for Brookline today?
I think Brookline, the key for this game is going to be sticking to who they are. They had that tough upset loss, but if they stay true to their identity, Hopkinton haven't faced that tough a competition so far. Despite their 10-0 record, I think if Brookline play strong fundamentals, I think they got a shot in this game. It's going to be tough, but I think Brookline can pull it out.
Well, on paper, it certainly looks like anybody's game. Brookline higher in the power rankings, as you mentioned, Sam, by virtue of strength of schedule. Brookline ranked 4th in the updated power rankings that came out yesterday morning with a record of 4-4-2. Hopkinton unbeaten at 10-0, but due to a weaker strength of schedule, they play in a weaker division than the Bay State Conference that Brookline plays in. But Hopkinton still in the top 10, ranked 9th in the power rankings. They finished ranked 3rd in last year's power rankings, so we know they can hang with top competition, and we'll see how that plays out here today. Looks like Brookline's going to be playing from our left here in the first half. Hopkinton on our right, Brookline in the blue jerseys with white jersey numbers. Hopkinton in white with what looks to be dark blue jersey numbers with red outlines, I think. Brookline lining up, looks like they're going to get the opening possession of the ball game as McKenna Hammond setting up to get us started.
Can be a tough game for Brookline, but I do believe that they're going to pull it out and win this game.
All right, Sam Lowenstein calling the shot here as we get this one underway. The pass goes all the way back to Anna Leshley, who pops it up high in the air, catches a headwind, and it's headed away, but booted right back by Leshley. As Brookline quickly moves it upfield, it deflects out to the far side and is booted out of bounds by Hopkinton.
Brookline just trying to boot it as far as they can here. Set the tone early, getting deep into Hopkinton territory.
The throw-in goes back to Leshley again. Leshley going to pass it back away from the pressure to Babette Hall. Hall kicks one out to the near side to Julia Vianello. Vianello tries tap one. It's deflected but recovered by Vilena Chernichev. Sends it forward to Sydney Freeze. Freeze dribbles backwards out of traffic and passes it back to Hall once again. As Brookline resets, Hall a long leading kick for McKenna Hammond, but too far, and it's picked up by the netminder, who appears to be number 99, Taylor Scaff. Scaff punts it, again booted right back by Leshley, who's getting a good number of kicks on the ball early. Hopkinton deflects it forward, goes off ahead, and Hall decides to pass it back to Julia Cherwin. Sherwin lifts a kick out. It's knocked down, but deflected by Vianello over to Paige Hammond. Hammond lifts one high. Vianello keeps it in bounds and taps it up the line through our blind spot, but it's taken back by Hopkinton. They pass it quickly upfield and too far. That pass was intended for number 17, Nicole Tedstone, off the deflection from number 11, Nina Zoganatos, but flew too far out of bounds. Mirabelle Kesselman throws that one in, but it's knocked back. Gets up to number 10, who passed it ahead for Tedstone. Tedstone taps to the middle, disrupted by Leshley, boxes out the cutting number 9, Myron O'Connor, and Brookline stops that attack. Trying to work it up the far side, Lila Kennan passes out of pressure, gets it up to Hammond, but it's knocked away, goes back to Zoganatos. Zoganatos, long shot, and it's caught out of the air by Sherwin.
Well, for Brookline, Leslie's been all over the place on defense, and McKenna Hammond splitting the defense of Hopkinton with nobody home. Hammond just not being able to catch up to the ball, but a near chance earlier.
And that pass from Freeze blocked, recovered by O'Connor, and sends it up the far sideline, but Freeze going all the way back on defense to cut her off, passes it over to Leshley. Leshley sends it back to Sherwin. Sherwin surveying, slices that one, kept in bounds by Vianello, but not entirely, as it does roll out of bounds.
And Vianello being boxed in by the Hopkinton defense there.
Throw in for the Hillers. Goes into number 10, Madison Recupero. They're working it down the far side. Pass briefly blocked, and running out of room there was Tedstone. That'll be a goal kick for Brookline.
Tedstone's been getting the majority of the touches so far for Hopkinton on that left side, providing most of the attack.
Brookline now trying to work it up their left side as McKenna Hammond battling, keeping control of the ball, passes back Leshley. Leshley dribbling, keeps possession, passes back to Hall to reset. Hall boots one out to the near side to Vianello. Vianello trying to cut around, sends a leading pass forward, too far for Cannon, but the clear kick was blocked. Oh, but I think they said it went off Cannon's hand, off the attempted clear kick from number 24, Alex Clark.
Well, Lila Cannon trying to block it with her body after Vianello was looking to play it to her.
And now they're trying to play this one up to Tedstone once again on that near side. And again, it's too far and rolls out of bounds on Tedstone. And that'll be another goal kick for Brookline.
And yet again, Jesse, Hopkinton targeting Tedstone, as she's been their biggest weapon so far on that left side. But Brookline's done a good job to neutralize her so far.
Off the goal kick, it's given to Leshley, sent across to Hall. Hall boots one up. Good boxing out by Vianello to get ahead. Kicks one forward, cut off by Clark, sliced straight up in the air, goes off ahead and out of bounds. It'll be Hopkinton ball as that went off the head of Vianello.
Almost came over towards us.
Throwing in now, number 18, Ashley McCann out of our blind spot, goes off the head of Kesselman, downed by Vianello. Vianello taps it back to Hall. Hall fakes the pass, turns around and surveys, and now boots one upfield, and now a race for the ball, and Clark boxes out Hammond, kicks it away, but it's taken back by Vianello. Vianello looking, kicks one towards the middle, deflects, Freeze trying to box out, taps one out for Cannon. Cannon charging in, Cannon a long shot, and it's caught by Scaff.
Brookline looking to get it to McKenna Hammond through the center of the field. This time Hopkinton was able to box out.
Good shooting chance from Lila Cannon, but just didn't get enough juice on it. Save made by Taylor Scaff. And Leshley deflects that one out of the middle, but it goes back to Ashley McCann. McCann pass to the middle to Zoganatos, sends a leading kick for Recupero, and it looks like she's been whistled for offsides.
Offsides with the ball just in front of Recupero's. Hopkinton looking for something different, trying to play it cross field. After they were targeting Tedstone mostly and the early going on the left side.
Now Leshley lining up for the free kick after the offsides call. Boots this one. Deflects off the head of Freeze. Hammond battling for it, trying to race through, but cut off. Kicked away. I think that was number 13, Emma Prisco, on defense for Hopkinton that cut that one off.
And yet again, another chance for McKenna Hammond. She darts down the left side, nearly got to it.
And now this one kicked away by Nina Zoganatos, blocked by Hall, but recovered by Tedstone. Tedstone boxed out just barely by Hall, and Leslie kicks it away. Kesselman sends one low, gets to Hammond, but stolen away by Clark. Clark clears it, misses Recupero, and Kesselman taps it over to Chernychev. Now back to Leslie. Leslie dribbling, finds a hole, racing through, taps one forward for Freeze. Freeze corrals it, taps it over to Paige Hammond, who couldn't quite force that one forward. McCann kicks it away. Headed back by Kesselman, headed down by Paige Hammond, and racing up with it was Freeze, but it's cleared out by number 6, Laura Mosher. Hopkinton trying to work up that far side, and it's out of bounds, and I think it's going to be Hopkinton ball.
Hopkinton ball there, but Sydney Freeze applying strong pressure against the Hopkinton defense. As Brookline, they've been really, this game has been pretty even so far, Jesse, between these two sides in terms of the attack. Brookline's had a couple more chances as of recently, but Hopkinton got off to a better start.
Leslie kicks this one over to Paige Hammond, but she is cut off by number 16, Anaga Kulkarni. Now Kulkarni with the ball again, kicks a leader for Tedstone, too far though, and it's easily picked up by Cherwin, who throws it up to Vianello quickly. Pass over to Chernychev. Chernychev back out to Vianello on the near side, sends one up the line looking for McKenna Hammond, who did touch it but deflects too far and rolls out of bounds.
But yet again, nobody guarding Tedstone on the left side. Hopkinton targeting her and almost got it. If they can execute, this could be dangerous for Brookline.
Recupero now passes back to Clark. Clark kicks one upfield, deflects off the body of Hall, and Tedstone keeps it in bounds, but nowhere to go as she was cut off by Vianello. Kesselman takes it, sends it back to Cherwin. Cherwin taps it over to Hall. Hall kicks one, goes off the head of McCann and over to McKenna Hammond. Hammond sends it back, Kesselman. Kesselman goes all the way back to Cherwin as Brookline resets. Cherwin pops this one out to the near side, goes off the head of McCann, off the head, I believe, of Kesselman, bounces out of bounds, and that's going to be a throw-in deep in Brookline territory for the Hillers.
Kesselman working on Tedstone there. She shifts to our near side. Brookline playing more defensive now.
Throw-in goes to Recupero, taps back. Now McCann kicks towards the middle, bouncing along. It's being chased after, and it's going to roll out of bounds for a goal kick. Was too far for the reach of number 7, Fotini Grantos.
Grantos, the captain, trying to get it. As Hopkinton, they've been working a little bit more, those side-to-side balls across the field, trying to stretch out Brookline, as the Warriors have been accounting more for Tedstone on the near side and the left side.
Hall with the ball, kicks it off the head of McCann once again, and collected by Kesselman. Kesselman pops it across midfield, being watched by Clark, just lets it roll out of bounds. Hopkinton ball.
Kesselman just trying to work it towards the middle, find somebody open.
McCann throws it in, goes off the foot of Recupero and off the foot of Chernychev. Now popped up high by McCann, headed down, and McKenna Hammond comes out with the ball, passes to Vianello, too tight of a space, couldn't work around the defense, and lost it out of bounds. Hopkinton ball once again.
Vianello was trying to work that one around McCann.
And now this throw-in being chased after, and Hall forced to kick it out of bounds with the pressure of Myron O'Connor over her back.
O'Connor splitting in between Hall and Kesselman, but Hall able to get to it.
Throw in for Hopkinton in the corner. And now cleared out by Brookline. Blocked off by Clark. Clark taps one out, Recupero. Recupero looking, pass back for Zoganatos. Zoganatos, pass intercepted by Chernychev. Big takeaway there for the senior co-captain as she passed it back to Cherwin, kicks it upfield, knocked back by Zoganatos, up to Recupero. Recupero taken out by the slide tackle of Leshley, and Brookline takes it away. Paige Hammond sends it up to her sister McKenna. And now passed back to Chernychev. Chernychev taps it and cut off by McCann, but kicked back by Kesselman. Flying up the near side is Vianello, cut off by Clark, kicked out of bounds, and it'll be a Brookline throw-in.
Brookline working the through balls through the
middle. My
middle.
mistake, Hopkinton throw-in.
Hopkinton throwing there. But Brookline showing some promise through the middle, and then was trying to work it down the right side.
Clark boots this one all the way back to Leshley at midfield. Leshley dribbling, passing out far side, and a hard trip by Gronsos defending against Hill. And given the way they're moving, I think they called a foul on Gronsos there, and Brookline's going to be setting up for a free kick. So we got Leshley over on the far side setting up for the free kick.
And if she plays this one into the box, Jesse, this could be dangerous. Brookline maybe getting somebody to get a header on it.
She does play this one towards the box, and off a bounce, almost juggled, but it's recovered by Scaff.
Almost came up to the head of Chernychev. Nearly able to hit it home, but an unlucky bounce for the Warriors.
This kick is knocked down by Chernychev, taken by Freeze. Freeze sends it back to Kesselman and across to Leshley. Leshley pass up Chernychev. Chernychev has to dribble away from the pressure, gives it back to Leshley. Leshley dribbling, got some space. Passes forward, it gets away from McKenna Hammond and is picked up by Scaff.
There's Leshley traversing her way through the defense, looking to do it herself.
And again, getting tangled up on the far side were Hill and Gronsos, and they blow the whistle on Gronsos again. It'll be another free kick for Brookline.
And yet again, as Gronso's been playing really physical on Brookline's left side, basically the same position for Brookline for this free kick.
Boy, the way Gronsos and Hill are getting tangled up, you'd think they were playing a game of Twister instead of soccer.
Or American football.
That too. Anna Leshley setting up for the free kick once again. This one flies towards the box and headed out by the Hopkinton defense. Gets up to O'Connor, but Leshley swoops in, takes the ball away. She is moving deep into Hopkinton territory, trying to gain the edge for a crosser, walled off by several defenders. It does bounce out of bounds, and Brookline is going to get their first corner kick of the day.
As Leshley working it to that back post yet again. Brookline trying to get a header on it, but they do get a corner kick out of it.
They're going to go for a short pass to Hammond. Tapped back out. Now Freeze lifts it high. Header! Oh, just missed wide of the net. Leshley got her head on it, but couldn't get it into the net.
It looked like it was looping towards the back post for Brookline to get their first goal, and it just goes out.
A good setup by Brookline, but they ultimately come just inches away from being first on the board. Now Hopkinton working it up the near side. This is McCann. McCann kicks it upfield. Another long leading kick, and once again too far for Tedstone or O'Connor. It's picked up by Cherwin. Given to Chernychev, now out to Vianello. Vianello kicks up the line, blocked out of bounds by McCann.
Vianello, she's been active towards the right side, working it up the field.
Now this is Chernychev swinging it over towards the left side to Leshley. Leshley dribbling through the middle now. Pass through to Chernychev, taps it forward. Cannon wasn't ready for it. Lost control of it, kicked away by McCann. Goes off the head of Hall, off the head of Chernychev, out to Vianello. Vianello looking, taps it forward. Cannon. Cannon looking around. Pass to the middle. Chernychev taps it back to Hall. Hall over to Leshley. Leshley Dribbles away from some pressure, now taps for Chernychev. Chernychev collects it, passes over to Vianello. Vianello working one-on-one with McCann. Vianello trying to gain the edge down the near side. Now sends in a crosser. No angle there. It's deflected out by Clark. Leshley, having swapped over to the right side, recovers that ball, and it's lost out of bounds. It'll be a Brookline throw-in.
And Brookline seems that their strength so far has been their dribbling. Leshley and Vianello, they've been able to go through the defense of Hopkinton pretty much unharmed.
Throw-in is tapped back to the thrower. Vianello gives to Freeze, back out. Vianello kicks in a high crosser, and it's well wide of the net, goes along behind it. That'll be a goal kick.
Well wide, but almost looked like an illusion. It was going in the net the way it kind of cut back a little bit. For a second, I was like, did that go in? But definitely didn't.
Yeah, those optical illusions with the soccer nets. Scaff gives it over to Clark. Clark up to McCann. McCann lifts one high, being chased after by Kesselman. Kesselman sends it back to Sherwin. Sherwin managed to fake out the pressure, kick it up the middle, but it's intercepted by Recupero. Recupero sends one forward. Now a pass to the outside to number 21, dribbling in. Hard collision with Vianello, knocked out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Hopkinton off the push from number 21, Riley Colleran.
Julia Vianello closing out, saving a possible chance for Hopkinton. She's been up and down the right side for Brookline. She's been having a great performance here in the first half on offense in defensive pressure.
Now setting up for a corner kick. Thankfully our camera can see this because we really cannot through the capacity crowd we have out here at Skyline. They send in a low one. McCann tries to kick it. Ricochets like a pinball, staying in the box, and Kesselman ultimately boots it out of bounds to end that threat.
Mirabelle Kesselman, she's done a strong job neutralizing the attacks for Hopkinton on Hopkinton's left side. She's been booting it deep a lot.
Throw in goes back. Zoganatos kicks it towards the box. Deflects back, collected by Cannon, and kicked away. Now taken by Clark. Pass out McCann. McCann kicks one into the box, bouncing along, and Sherwin comes out and takes it away. Allison Green was closing for Hopkinton, but could not get there in time.
Hopkinton, a lot of their attacks, they've just been looping crosses into the box, hoping someone can get to them.
Almost a bad turnover by Kesselman, but she keeps control and gets it away from Colleran. Pass up for Hammond, but boxed out by Clark. It goes out of bounds, Hopkinton ball.
Was boxing out there, but Brookline, they've really done a strong job in defense. Not a lot of shots necessarily for Hopkinton so far.
Recupero back to up. Vianello knocks it back, and now it's stolen by McKenna Hammond. Hammond passing forward, too far forward, kicked away by, I believe, Mosher. Chased down now by Hall. Hall kicks back the other way, but kicked right back by McCann. And that's going to bounce out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball.
Hammond looking for Sydney Freeze in the left center of the field, but Freeze unable to get to it. Hopkinton able to close out. They got two defenders far back so far.
Throw in goes to Hammond. Passes back to Hall. Popped up in the air. Deflected down by McCann. Vianello recovers it, but battling on that near sideline, knocked loose, and Kesselman boots it high and out of bounds.
Way far out, almost hits the pole connected to our setup. Almost pinged off the top.
Not going to lie, I was sweating a bit. Throw in, and it's booted high again and out of bounds. It'll stay Hopkinton ball.
And maybe where a target it comes over yet again, but not nearly as close.
Now McCann battling along the near side, knocked out by Brookline again. Quick throw in, forward, tapped over Recupero. Recupero back to McCann. McCann winds and disrupted by Hammond. Passes back to Clark, back to McCann. McCann kicks towards the middle, booted away by Leshley. And it's knocked forward by Sydney Freeze. Clark trying to cut it off, and she does manage to get a pass back to Scaff as Hammond was chasing after that one. Hammond passed it out to Clark. Clark up the line. And McCann sends it up to Colleran. Colleran pass to Recupero. Knocked away by Kesselman. Recovered by Zoganatos. Sends pass forward to Colleran. Colleran appears to, I'm not sure if they called offsides or out of bounds, but either way, got some subs checking in for Brookline now. As I think that's going to be Nora Shu and Elin Lindgren-Palm coming into the game, replacing Vianello and Hill.
Well, for Hopkinton, a lot of their attacks, McCann has been playing it deep into the box, and Hopkinton hoping for a good bouncer, somebody to get to it.
Deflected back and forth. Battling on the near side where our camera can see, but we struggle to see. Hopkinton trying to work through some tight passing angles, but cut off by Kesselman and kicked away. McKenna Hammond now slides one across, gets to Cannon. Cannon disrupted, knocked loose, but kicked back again by Kesselman. McKenna Hammond battling with Clark once again, knocked loose, recovered by Recupero. Recupero pass gets through, but too far for Zoganatos, and Charwin takes it with a slide.
She had Zoganatos running free in the middle, splitting the Brookline defense, but just a bit ahead.
Now a pass towards the middle. Lindgren-Palm has to come out of the near side to take it. Passes back to Kesselman. Kesselman dribbling up. Pass forward, blocked off by McCann. Pass misses, Colleran rolls out of bounds, Brookline ball.
Now Lindgren-Palm to throw in.
Throws it in, bouncing along. Freeze takes it, gets around Clark, but one last help defender. It's Mosher who knocks that one loose, and it's cleared away by Clark. Now Hall gets back to the ball, taps it back for Sherwin. Sherwin passes away from the pressure of Green, gets it out to Hall. Hall's kick goes up to Freeze, taps out Lindgren-Palm. Lindgren-Palm passes back to Leshley. Leshley walking it up, kicks a high one, trying to lead for Hammond. McKenna Hammond trying to battle through. She does take the ball. Turns around, tries to pass back, but cut off and kicked away, I think, by Prisco. Gets it up to number 20, who gets tangled up hard with Leshley. And they call the foul on number 20, Natalie Prisco.
And Prisco just getting a bit behind Leshley. It almost looked like Leshley slid into Prisco, at least from our angle, but and yet another chance for Brookline from this same spot. Brookline's had two other free kicks, long free kicks, but chances to loop it into the box.
We'll see what they decide to do here as Leshley lined up for the kick. Sends one in high and shallow as that's just bouncing along, downed by Chernychev. And now sends an acrosser off the crossbar and over the top. Almost managed to sneak that one in from a limited angle, but can't quite get it in.
Chernychev almost twirling around, tipped it off the top of the crossbar and just barely goes up. Another chance for Brookline. As Brookline's had the slight upper hand this game, it's been pretty even so far through the first half. Hopkinton started out hot, but Brookline's had more of the chances and shots.
Now this one deflects over to Chernychev. Chernychev gives over to Kesselman. Now to Chernychev. Back to Leshley. Leshley swings it over to Cannon. Cannon over to Kesselman. Kesselman over to Lindgren-Palm. Lindgren-Palm trying to dribble through, looking, kicks one low, it's blocked, recovered by Lindgren-Palm, taps it out to Freeze. Freeze trying to work her way against McCann. McCann blocks her, but Freeze now spins away from her, sends one through to the box, battling, scrumming for it, kicked away by the Hillers, recovered by Chernychev. Chernychev taps over for Leshley. Leshley spins off the defender, fighting her way through, tripped up. No whistle, it's just going to be a goal kick.
And Freeze playing a dangerous ball into the box. No one from Brookline able to get it. As Hopkinson's defense, they've been playing far back, but Brookline's been forced into long shots. Not a lot of quality shots so far. One chance from Chernychev that pinged off the top of the crossbar, but Hopkinson's done a good job being compact.
Couple of subs coming in for Brookline. Number 19, Jada Kimbrough, and what appears to be number 4, Ashley Sherwin. Long kick up. And I think that's going to roll out of bounds. Interesting to see Ashley Sherwin. We've not seen a lot of her. She suffered a season-ending injury last year, and so didn't get to play at all. She's out there with what appears to be a leg brace, but certainly happy to see her able to be out there and play again. Julia Sherwin kicks that one. I got to specify which Sherwin now. Out on the far side, Hopkinton trying to work with it. Pass almost rolls through, knocked away by Chernychev. Recupero heads it forward to herself. Recupero charging in. Tries to send across her back, but too much traffic. And they're going to say no foul. They're going to say out of bounds. Folks, that was weird. Our audio equipment got knocked over. But the corner kick unsuccessful for Hopkinton. We got a whistle against the Hillers as Brookline now setting up for the free kick. They rush it. And the officials say, no, you got to kick it from the proper spot. Sorry about that, but our audio is back now. Pass goes out to Leshley on the far side. Leshley kicks it across to Kesselman. Kesselman tangled up with Colleran, and Colleran steals it away. Colleran off to the races. Colleran forced to kick it from a less favorable angle, and it's taken by Julia Sherwin.
Colleran trying her luck with Kesselman bearing down on her.
Sherwin kicks this one, bouncing along, and it's kicked away again by the Hillers. Knocked loose, and ultimately recovered by Chernychev. Chernychev sends one up to Kimbrough. Kimbrough back to Chernychev. Dribbling around, passes it back to Hall. Hall looking, lifts one out to the far side to Shu. Shu passes up the line, misses McKenna Hammond. Staying in bounds, though, as they're scrumming for it. Lost out of bounds. Or no, not lost out of bounds. Still in bounds. They're still battling for it. Pass goes back to Ashley Sherwin. Recupero pressuring her, takes it away. And now we've got a whistle as I think Recupero ran out of room on the sideline. And it's going to be a throw-in for Brookline.
It's Brookline, they've been working that left sideline well. That's been where they've been able to exploit the defense of Hopkinton, get a couple free kicks and throw-ins so far.
Now Shu kicks one forward, gets to Kimbrough. Kimbrough turns around, tries a kick, blocked too many times, kicked away, and cleared out by the Hillers. Recupero sends it up the line, misses Natalie Prisco as that's going to roll out of bounds.
And Prisco wide open there. Recupero looking for it, but Prisco just missing it. Brookline catches a break there.
Indeed. Couple quick passes now sliced to the middle, headed away by Kesselman. McKenna Hammond recovers. Stays with the ball through the middle, taps one forward, kicked away by Mosher. Now it's Chernychev kicking a high leader, headed away by McCann. Pass was intended for Lindgren Palm. Now Recupero's pass too far for Colleran, rolls out of bounds. Throw in to Kimbrough. Gets a bit tangled up, but the loose ball recovered by Chernychev, taps it back to Kesselman. Kesselman over to Chernychev. Chernychev looking, sends one through for Lindgren Palm. Can she chase it down? couldn't keep it in bounds. It'll be a throw in for Hopkinton.
Looking for Lindgren Palm there. Hopkinton committing no defenders to the right sideline. That compact defense, they've had pretty good success with it, but Brookline's been able to weave their way through the left and the right, able to get their way into the box more indirectly.
Couple deflections back and forth here on the near side. Recovered now by Chernychev. Sends it back. Leshley trying to burst through the hole again. Tries a long kick, but it's blocked. Couple deflections pushed forward by Sherwin. Now Kimbrough trying to force it through. Kicked away by Mosher, who's been that last line of defense for Hopkinton a couple of times. Hall with the ball. Pass Leshley. Spins off the pressure of number 22, Catherine Chow, who I think I'd been mistaking for Prisco. I'm not entirely sure. Leshley kicks that one high off the head of McCann. And now a battle for the ball, and it's won by Kesselman. Kesselman intercepted by Recupero. Recupero crosses midfield, putting on the Jets, going down the near side. Trying to cut around Kesselman, and her shot just went the wrong way off her foot. Hooked it too much, it goes wide of the net and out of bounds.
Recupero was outrunning Kesselman. Got down the left sideline, but she just whiffs on the shot and pulling it left.
Madison Recupero scored one of Hopkinton's 2 goals against Brookline in last year's contest. And showing why she's an offensive threat on that play.
And the captain in her senior year, or one of the captains for Hopkinton.
Yes. Kesselman sends it back to Hall. Hall kicks it high off the head of McCann. Leshley managed to kick it out of the air. Headed back by Zoganatos. Deflects, kicked away by Chernychev, goes out to Shu. Shu, pass forward, knocked away. Battling for it on the far side. A pass from number 8 over to Zoganatos. From number 8, Sophia Zoganatos, over to number 11, Nina Zoganatos. Pass back to Sophia Zoganatos. Now out far side. Long kick, and it's caught by Julia Cherwin. Almost looked like she came a little too far in for that one, but manages to snag it.
Another long ball into the box from Hopkinton. This time working it from the right side after Brookline and Mirabel Kesselman were able to neutralize their attacks from distance on the left.
Long kick from Hall, deflected by McCann through the middle. Sophia Zoganatos heads it over to Nina Zoganatos. Now headed back the other way by Kesselman, chased down by Colleran, pass back McCann. McCann, upfield Recupero. Recupero's pass blocked by Lindgren Palm, recovered by Chernychev. Slides it across to Leshley. Leshley threads the needle. Pass across midfield to Paige Hammond. Hammond's pass blocked in the midfield by Clark. Recovered by Recupero. Now her pass blocked by Chernychev. Nina Zoganatos tries to kick it. Knocked back by Lindgren Palm. Now passed over to Clark. Clark looking. Kicks one forward. And too far forward. Going to be picked up by Julia Cherwin.
Leshley for Brookline. She's been able to have success crossing midfield, gaining a couple steps with nobody on her. She's been splitting the defense, as you said, threading the needle, but after that, Hopkinson's been sitting back and they've been able to neutralize any threats.
Along the far side, and Emma Prisco just lets that one roll out of bounds. Back, pass to the middle, taken away by Ashley Cherwin. Pass across, Lindgren Palm. Looking around, tap back for Cherwin, wasn't quite ready for it. It's knocked away, but recovered by Chernychev. Chernychev fends off the pressure from Hopkinton, keeps the ball, taps it out to Leshley. Leshley gives over to Shu. Shu turns around back to Leshley. Leshley to Chernychev. Chernychev sends it through. Leshley on the give and go. Leshley hit from behind, and they do blow the whistle. And that'll be another free kick for Brookline.
Leslie just chopped down from behind, and Brookline, they've had numerous free kicks now on that left side. This one, the most dangerous yet, the most closest to goal. And so far, Brookline, they've been trying to play it towards that back post on the left side, trying to work a header back into the box.
And I do believe we've got a timeout called here by Brookline, as they do have a free kick late here in the first half. They want to maybe strategize on what their next play is going to be. During this timeout break, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent, Dr. Brandon Esch, for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, call 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. And a note in the live chat from Yuli Burstein letting me know that my camera's been tilted a little too far to the side sometimes. And yeah, the handle isn't straight on. I don't know. It might have happened while I was pushing the camera up and raising the tripod that I threw it off center there. I'm trying to do a better job of keeping track of where I need to have the handle, because it's like not a straight up angle. But thank you for pointing that out, Yuli. I appreciate you, man.
Well, this game, Jesse's been really even so far. Both teams have had some chances. Brookline's had a little bit more chances. That's why I thought that's why I thought they're going to win. That's why I think they're going to win this game. Brookline just a little bit of an edge with strength of schedule, but pretty much these teams have been on the same exact level. It's been a fun one to watch.
We'll see what Brookline decides to do out of the timeout with a free kick chance, the closest they've had for a free kick chance so far. Well within range to simply go for a shot and see if they can get it in.
And maybe Brookline could try to play it to their back post, our near post on the right side. Maybe fake out the Hopkinton defense.
They're sending out Vilena Chernychev to kick this one. Chernychev did score on Tuesday against Braintree. Could she make it 2 games in a row here, or might she go for a crosser into the box like you said, Sam? Chernychev's pass low and kicked away. So that strategy did not work out at all.
Brookline, everybody lined up on the right side, tried to get, but nobody came left. Nobody came left to get to the low ball.
Yeah, a bit of a strange play there. You get the feeling something didn't go where it was supposed to. Brookline now working it along the back line. Julia Sherwin sends it out far side for Leshley. Leshley leaves it for Chernychev, who gives to Leshley. Back to Chernychev. They're just biding their time here. Might be waiting for either for an opening or for the time to run out on the half. But now Chernychev working it up that far sideline, kicks it forward for McKenna Hammond. Tap to the outside to Shu. Shu. That one knocked out of bounds. It'll be a Brookline throw-in.
Brookline on that corner, Jesse, everybody stacked up on the right side, but the ball went left. And it seemed that somebody was out of assignment or something didn't go right after the timeout.
Now battling in the midfield, Chernychev takes it away and sends it back to Leshley. Leshley across to Ashley Sherwin, who taps it back for Hall. Hall just pops it and slices it out of bounds.
Hall just trying to clear it away now. A chance possibly for Hopkinton. They've had a lot of throw-ins on that left side so far.
This one tapped back to McCann, and no, they lost it out of bounds. My mistake. Like I said, we got limited visibility along the sidelines here with the capacity crowd. That one lost out of bounds off the foot of Sherwin, And it'll be another throw-in for Hopkinton.
Well, Jesse, most games we have one blind spot. This game, multiple with all this crowd.
Welcome to covering games at Skyline. As battling for the ball, they are going to call a foul on McCann for that play.
As she throws her hands up, saying she didn't do anything. Referee making a judgment call in favor of Brookline.
And Kesselman pass it over to Hall off the free kick as they work it over to Leshley. Leshley dribbling through the middle, pass forward, knocked away by Clark. And it's going to go off the head of Hall. Down the near side, kept in bounds by the Hillers. Tries pass through but deflected away, and Chernychev passed it up to Lindgren Palm. Lindgren Palm's pass intercepted Recupero. Recupero. Pass for Zoganatos. Now over to Colleran. Colleran across her into the box, knocked down by Leshley, but right in front of a player who scores! Hopkinton first on the board, and it's Madison Recupero scoring on Brookline for the second year in a row.
Recupero getting it, and nobody guarding the left side. Hopkinton able to play it into the box. Brookline played a compact defense, but didn't account for that whole side of the field, and they were just able to run it up, play it in, and against the run of play, Hopkinton takes the lead.
The initial crosser was knocked down by Leshley, but it went right to the waiting foot of Madison Recupero, who puts Hopkinton on the board 1-0 late here in the first half.
A lapse in defense for Brookline.
Chernychev pops this one high, headed down by McCann. And now Colleran racing up the left side. And there is the double whistle for halftime. So Hopkinton gets a big goal late in the half as we head into the break. Madison Recupero puts the Hillers on the board 1-0.
And an even first half, Jesse, between these two teams. The goal from Hopkinton right before the double whistle, but Brookline was having more shots. They'd controlled the play in the late first half, but Hopkinton against everything taking the lead.
Well, it's not about how many chances you get, it's about how many you capitalize on. Hopkinton showing that with the lead here at half. As we head into this halftime break, I remind you once again this broadcast brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. You can find all that information down in the description section of the video. You can also find a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, girls and boys, varsity, JV, and freshmen. And you can also find some links to our local charity spotlight, Brookline Cares. Brookline Cares is a volunteer organization run by BHS students which seeks to raise awareness and funds to help people experiencing homelessness. Brookline Cares works closely with an organization called the Empowerment Plan, which hires and trains those experiencing homelessness to manufacture their special type of coat, known as the Empower Coat, which can double as a sleeping bag. The coats help to keep those struggling with homelessness warm during the colder months, and the jobs manufacturing those coats can help break the cycle of homelessness through gainful employment. Over the past 3 years, Brookline Cares has purchased and distributed over 200 Empower Coats and 1,000 pairs of Bombas socks to local community organizations and emergency departments that care for the homeless. Down in the description section of this video, you'll find a link to the website classy.org where you can donate money to the Brookline Cares team, supporting their efforts to purchase more Empower Coats. Or if you're a student interested in learning more, you can find a link in the description on wixsite.com that'll take you to the website for Brookline Cares itself, where you can find out more about them, what they do, and how you can contact them. Once again, check out those links in the description section down below. But for now, we're going to take a break and mute our mics. 1-0 the Hopkinton lead alongside Sam Lowenstein. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. We'll be back with the second half. Stay tuned.
good game.
Indeed it is, and we are back on the mic. Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan alongside Sam Lowenstein here at Skyline Park in Brookline, Massachusetts. The visiting Hopkinton High Hillers holding a 1-0 lead over the Brookline High Warriors off a late first half goal from Madison Recupero, scoring against Brookline for the second year in a row, as she did get one of Hopkinton's 2 goals in their 2-1 victory over the Warriors last season. Brookline hoping not to repeat the result here, but they're going to need to find the back of the net to get back in this one. Hopkinton to start us off as the two teams switch sides.
Well, an even first half between the two teams. Brookline with more shots than Hopkinton, but against the run of play, Hopkinton getting that goal from Recupero after a cross in from Colleran.
Now we just await the whistle to start off the second half.
Still waiting. They stand over the ball.
There we go. Pass goes back to Nina Zoganatos, who kicks away up for Recupero. Blocked by Leshley, but Fotini Granzos trying to work it upfield, sends it down for Recupero, keeps it inbounds. Looking around, trying to cut back towards the middle, tripped up, and they're gonna call a foul on Leshley, I think, and Leshley goes down holding her face. Might have caught an elbow to the head as their bodies were getting tangled up going to the ground. It's been a physical contest so far.
Hoping she's all right as Leslie is still down. Recupero is weaving her way around the Brookline defense. Leslie came in from behind with a slide tackle and is hoping she's all right.
Yeah, certainly we never want to see any injuries in Leslie. Certainly the last player Brookline would want to see leave the field due to an injury. But it looks like she is sticking around.
Looks like
she's
all right.
Okay. It is going to be a free kick for the Hillers from a pretty good distance for a potential shot. Nina Zoganatos, number 11, lining up for this one. Goes for a crosser. Knocked down by Kesselman. Recovered now by Recupero. But no room to dribble. It was knocked away by Sydney Freeze. Recovered now. Passed back out Zoganatos. Taps one forward to Myron O'Connor. Pass out Recupero. Recupero trying to get a pass through to O'Connor. O'Connor gets around the defense. Charging in. Shot goes off the post out of bounds.
Hit the side of the net post. O'Connor trying to swerve it into the goal, but she just clipped it around. Looked like it hit off the post, just really hit the side netting in that area.
Exactly. Goal kick is given to Babette Hall, who sends one low. Didn't get the lift she might have been trying for as it's taken away by Recupero. Recupero pass back Zoganatos. Thought about a kick, decides against it. Passes back over to Recupero. Goes back to Ashley McCann. Her pass intercepted by Julia Vianello, who passed it back to Mirabelle Kesselman. Kesselman sends back to the Brookline netminder, Julia Cherwin. Cherwin sends it over near side to Priscilla Hill. Hill taps it forward for Cannon. Lila Cannon sends it back to Anna Leshley. Leshley back over to Hall. Hall sends one knocked back by Zoganatos, but recovered by Kesselman. Pass up to Paige Hammond, who sends it up the far side too far. Got a little too much curve on that, and the wind might have caught it as it rolls out of bounds.
It looked like that ball was intended for Sydney Freeze, and Freeze just couldn't get up to it.
I think that one was actually intended for Vianello.
Vianello?
Bit of an optical illusion, as that was headed towards the sideline. Vianello was playing on the wing. Freeze was definitely rushing up with her in the same general area, so I understand. It's tough because not only do we have a big crowd here, but also we got the sun.
Just staring right into the sun.
Yeah, you need to bring a hat, dude.
Yep.
Off the deflections, Zoganatos recovers, sends it back. Alex Clark boots it towards the box, And it's taken off a hop by Julia Sherwin. Sherwin rolls it into Leshley. Leshley over to Hall. Hall boots it upfield, goes off the head of McCann. Bouncing. Recupero gives it to Nicole Tedstone. Now to the middle to Zaganatos. Now over to Prisco. Emma Prisco battling, and it's knocked loose by McKenna Hammond. Gets to the middle to Paige Hammond. Hammond's got some space to dribble. That space ran out fast, and it's deflected by Recupero. Recovered by, I believe, Anaga Kulkarni. Pass deflects forward. Grontzos racing after it, pursued by Hill. Hill rips it away and kicks it upfield. Recovered by Prisco. Prisco pass it up to Myron O'Connor. O'Connor, crosser into the box, knocked down by Kesselman and booted away. Nice crosser, but no one there to receive it as Clark kicks that one back in. Knocked down by Cannon. Cannon kicks it upfield. Nobody in the general vicinity. That's just going to bounce out of bounds.
It's Cannon on an earlier play, sprinting down the left side, but Hopkinton was able to close out before they could find her. It's a quick stoppage from the referee.
Oh, it's for substitutions, I think. As we've got number 12, Jamie McGee, coming in place of Leshley, who might be coming off due to the head injury we saw earlier. We'll have to keep an eye on that. In the meantime, this ball heading down in the corner. O'Connor takes it for the Hillers. Trying to weave her way through too many defenders. It's kicked away out of bounds by Hall.
And O'Connor was looking to swerve it into the box, but she got closed out from the Brookline defense.
Throw in. And a foul is going to be called on Hall for going over the back of Recupero, and they're going to rush the free kick out to Recupero, who's going to try and gain the edge, sends in a crosser, deflecting down, and Sherwin falls on it.
And Hopkinton have been working out right side these last couple possessions. They've been looking to cross the ball in. And Brookline's had to close out.
Sherwin rolls it into Chernychev, taps it back. Hall kick, again low, and it's knocked back by Hopkinton. Taken by Recupero again. Recupero looking. Pass gets through. Offsides called on Kulkarni. You know, I've said the joke before. I'll say it again. If a player seems like they're too wide open to be true, they're probably offsides.
Man, you bet, Jesse. Nobody home against Kulkarni one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and Kulkarni way offsides there.
Sherwin gives the goal kick over to Hall. Hall kicks a line drive up the far side, and that's just going to roll out of bounds. Brookline struggling to move the ball upfield to start the second half here.
They've almost been suffocated by this Hopkinton team. And Hopkinton, they've been playing really aggressive, fast-paced. They've been rushing everything, sprinting down the sides. Brookline hasn't had an answer. And when you can't have an answer on defense, the offense isn't going to come much easier.
Throw in is lost out of bounds. Brookline gets a bit of a break with a turnover around midfield by the Hillers. See if they can turn this into something as the throw in battle for the ball stays Brookline ball as it rolls out of bounds. Throw in downed by Freeze, tapped over for Paige Hammond. Knocked away from her, gets to Recupero. Recupero knocked away by Vianello out of bounds. Now a throw in for Hopkinton. This one thrown in Recupero. Dribbling, passes it back to Clark. Clark's kick blocked by Freeze as both Hammond and Freeze rushed up for that one. Still out of bounds, still Hopkinton ball.
And Sydney Freeze blocking it and far off the sideline.
This one kicked away by Chernychev, knocked back down, out of bounds. Vianello into Freeze, tapped back. Vianello kicks it upfield. And that's going to go, I think, out the back line, and that's going to set up a goal kick.
Jesse, seems like the momentum is really stagnated for Hopkinton. They had that hot start to start the second half after getting a goal at the end of the first half, but now both these teams battling it out in midfield, neither team with a big edge or offensive pressure.
And while Brookline has neutralized that Hopkinton momentum, like you said, they got to find a way to find some of their own momentum as they trail by 1 right here. Hopkinton works it down the near side, and that pass just out of bounds, intended for Gronsos. Brookline trying to rush the throw-in as Hill chucks it up. And scrum for the ball. And it's lost out of bounds, Hopkinton ball, as Hill blocked that kick upfield. Throw-in gets up to Recupero. Leshley back in the game, covering Recupero as she races up the sideline, trying to gain the edge. Sends in a crosser, but had a limited angle and had to rush the kick, so it flies around the back of the net.
Around the back of the net, and look, one of those that looked like it went in the net. It did not. But again, Hopkinton working the right side.
Leshley back in, seems to be okay. Goes near side to Hill. Hill kicks one upfield. And now it's a race as Taylor Scaff comes way out of the box to come up and boot that one. She saw Sydney Freeze putting on the Jets on offense and did not want to chance it.
And Jesse, this game, Hopkinton, after facing a weaker schedule to start the season, this performance against Brookline, they proved that they're the real deal so far.
I don't think there was much question with how strong Hopkinton's been over the past couple of years. But you're right, they're definitely proving that their early hot start, far from a fluke, as Brookline is working it up the far side, blocked down, taken by McCann, passed forward. I think Zoganatos sends it up for Gronsos, knocked away by McGee. And now it's out of bounds, and it's going to be Brookline ball.
And Brookline, their season's almost been the opposite. Had a record of 4-4-2, but the teams they played have been so strong. That game against Bishop-Feehan, they got a draw out of that. Bishop-Feehan, one of the best teams.
And now they're facing another one of the best teams in the state in Hopkinton. And they're currently trailing 1-0 like they were trailing against Bishop-Feehan. They were able to get that equalizer, but they need to get it here. Pass back and forth from the Hammonds. Page sends it forward for McKenna. It's a little wide, and McKenna cannot get there as it's cut off by Prisco. The clear, nowhere to go, taken away by Cannon. Cannon passes it back to Chernychev. And Chernychev back to Leshley. Leshley bringing it up against Recupero. Sends in a long kick, blocked. Leshley fighting for the rebound, but Recupero takes it. Pass up for O'Connor. O'Connor sends it upfield to Tedstone, lost out of bounds. They're going to say deflected out by Vianello, and it will be Hopkinton ball.
And Jesse, Tedstone had such a big impact in the early going of this game. Hopkinton, she was working down the left side. Brookline seemed they couldn't stop her, but she's been really shut out of the equation as of late.
And she gets shut out of that play there as Leshley wrenches that ball away from her. Now they work it to the middle to Chernychev. Chernychev over to Hill. Hill's pass intercepted by Gronsos, knocked away by Chernychev, sliced out of bounds by Prisco.
Sliced out, comes towards us and caught by a fan.
Throw in for Brookline again on the near side. Hill throws it in, looking for Freeze, bounces over the head of Clark, and Freeze taking advantage. Freeze charging in, kick is blocked by Prisco, but that's going to go out of bounds and get Brookline a corner kick, the first of the second half.
Blocks off the head of Prisco. Freeze trying to blast it in, and now Brookline with a golden chance here to gain some momentum back if they can get a goal in. But Brookline, they've been working their way back into this game ever since they were able to neutralize the momentum of Hopkinton.
Bit hard to see where the corner is coming from. And they send one flying in, and it goes over everybody. Chasing it down and kicking it out of bounds, I think, was Kulkarni, and so it'll be a Brookline throw-in, but not able to capitalize on the corner kick.
As Brookline, they've had a really tough schedule this season, but they've done a good job.
Throw-in goes to Freeze. Freeze trying to weave her way through, but runs out of room, loses it out of bounds along the back line.
Sydney Freeze looking to play the ball back in. She gets shut out. Hopkinton have been closing out on Brookline on each side. They've been playing compact defense, but been pulling people out to guard on the wings. Been a good balanced defense.
Scaff gives it over to Mosher. Laura Mosher sends it out to Prisco on the near side. Her kick blocked out of bounds by Hill. Or no, by Nora Shue, who is checked into the game in place of Hill, with Elin Lindgren-Palm replacing Vianello on the far side. This one kicked out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball now.
So now Brookline, they've been gaining some offensive pressure, creating more chances, but they haven't had that big chance yet.
Mosher kicks it, headed down by Kulkarni, but lost out of bounds. It'll be another Brookline throw-in. This one goes to Cannon off the deflection. It's recovered by Chernychev. Tight space, though. Lost out of bounds, not deflected by the defense. It'll be Hopkinton ball. And now that it's Hopkinton ball, we're going to have 3 Hillers substitutes coming into this one. Looks to be number 4, Allison Green, number 21, Riley Colleran, and what appears to be number 19, Elise Jacome. Prisco throws it in. Sort of into our blind spot, lost out of bounds, Brookline ball.
It looks like the momentum stagnates yet again. It's Hopkinton, their defense has just shut down Brookline.
It's so tough to fight in these tight spaces along the sideline. As you see, we've had a lot of plays on both the near and far sides in both halves where a ball will be thrown in and then knocked out of bounds immediately. Though not this time. Almost a chance for him in there, but couldn't block the clear kick. Knocked down by Chernychev, but booted away by Prisco. Over the head of McGee, and almost taken by Green, but Leshley cuts her off, sends it back to Sherwin. Now out to Leshley. Leshley out to the far side to Lindgren-Palm, kicked away, but kicked back forward by Leshley, and that's going to fly out of bounds, Hopkinton ball.
And Leslie having a strong second half, even after that injury, Jesse, where she got elbowed in the face, still been able to make an impact for the Warriors.
And, oh, was there a throw-in violation? Because now they're signaling Brookline ball. Or, no, they're saying get further back to where you're throwing it in from. That's why they were pointing that direction.
And Brookline gets a break there. Or thought they got a break, but called back.
Really more it was just mulligan, let's try that one again.
Yeah.
And we're going to get another mulligan as that one was headed out of bounds by Chernychev. Throw in. That pass deflects to the middle. And now passed out to Prisco. Prisco pops one up in the air across midfield. Headed down by Jacome. And it's McGee who boots this one away. Upfield. Racing for it. Clark whiffs on the clear. Oh, but Scaff falls on it as Clark whiffed on the clear kick, but boxed out McKenna Hammond to prevent the rush there.
Well, Hammond was coming crashing in. Clark barely able to box her out. the last moment.
Cross midfield, this one taken by McGee. McGee trying to clear it, blocked by Jacome, but goes out of bounds. And it'll be a Brookline throw-in.
It's Brookline, a little more possession than Hopkinton, but Brookline hasn't had a lot of time in the final third.
Throw in. Freeze trying to battle through multiple players. Manages to keep control and passes it away to Leshley. Leshley dribbling, pass back Kesselman. Kesselman up to Leshley. Stolen away, but it's knocked right back to Kesselman, who passes back for McGee. McGee back to Sherwin. Sherwin boots it up. Deflected and into some open space where Prisco takes it and boots it towards the middle. Knocked down by Chernychev, but right to Recupero. Recupero dribbling, passing away. Kick from Zaganatos, deflected and taken off a couple hops by Sherwin.
So Zaganatos pulling it with the inside of her foot, curling ball. Little bit left to the post, but a pretty easy save.
Kesselman taps it up for Lindgren Palm, who kicks it forward. Freeze trying to push it through. Masha the last line. Freeze with a chance, and her shot rolls wide of the net, but it was deflected by the defense. We'll have a corner kick for Brookline.
Sydney Freeze splitting inside the defense, was getting boxed out, but using her strength to get around, almost an equalizer for Brookline.
And now another chance for an equalizer as Freeze now relying on the strength of her foot to send in this corner kick. Flies in and loops around the back of the net. Out of bounds goal kick.
Sydney Freeze was looking to curl it in to the middle or the back post, but just too much on the ball and a wasted chance for the Warriors. But Brookline have definitely had the upper hand in these last 5 to 10 minutes. They've been able to take control of the game. They've been the better team overall, but Hopkinton without one goal at the end of the first half.
That one almost stolen by Sydney Freeze. That could have been a huge chance, but instead Clark forced to kick it out of bounds. And it is interesting, Sam, you talk about how that corner kick, how she might have wanted to curve it in. That kick really more like a hanging curveball in baseball that just didn't get the curve she wanted, and so it ends up staying out of bounds and bouncing off the outside of the net.
For sure, I definitely like that analogy, Jesse. Kind of a hanging curveball. You're trying to do something that's going to deceive the defense, be really dangerous, but it ends up backfiring.
Now, as Brookline lost that one out the back end, it'll be a goal kick coming from Scaff. Scaff pops this one near side right towards Shu. Shu kicks it forward, and it's knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay Brookline ball. Brookline throwing it in deep in Hopkinton territory. Lost out of bounds again.
Now Brookline just continuing the
It's bouncing along. McKenna Hammond tried to get a pass but couldn't get enough on it. Cleared out by Zaganatos. McGee taps it over to Kesselman to keep it away from Green as they send it back to Sherwin now. Sherwin up to Kesselman. Now back to Leshley and back to Kesselman. Up the line to Lindgren Palm. Back to Kesselman again. Back to Leshley again. Leshley gives it over to McGee. McGee up the line to shoot. Tap back McGee. Pops it forward across midfield. McKenna Hammond racing after it. Cut off and kicked out of bounds by Clark.
And McKenna Hammond, she's made multiple runs this game for Brookline. They've been really effective, but Hopkinton have been able to mostly get her out of the equation. Most of the damage has been coming from Sydney Freeze. Chernychev had one shot that hit off the top of the post, Jesse, but like.
And a timeout has been called. So as we enter this timeout break, I remind you again, this broadcast brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS sports parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. And you can see their logo in the bottom center of your screen, and you can find their information in the description section down below. 1-0 the Hopkinton advantage off that late first half goal by Madison Recupero. Brookline trying to find a way to generate not just a chance, but a really good chance. Like you said, Sam, they've gotten some looks, but nothing really matches the quality of that look that Recupero got for the goal, as that one was really, you get the ball wide open right in front of the net inside the box. Doesn't get much better than that.
A lot of the chances that Brookline's had, they've been near maybe three-quarters chances. The chance for Sydney Freeze, she pinged it just right of the post as she was crashing in around a defender. Then the chance from Chernychev that hit off the top of the post, but nothing, as we were saying, that really matches that quality. No super clear chances for the Warriors.
And one thing that makes it especially tough when you're trailing to generate those quality chances is the opponent is pulling their more players back. They're playing more of a defensive game because they know they have a lead they can hold on to. So it can be that much harder to find those openings.
And ever since getting that goal, Hopkinton been really hard to crack.
This throw in, it's tapped towards the box. So Ganatos tries to kick it out. Leshley backing down, takes it, and ran out of room as that one's booted away by, I believe, Clark. Taken by Kesselman, pass forward, Leshley taps over Chernychev. Chernychev sends one forward for McGee. McGee tries to send one across, but deflected and recovered by Kulkarni. Kulkarni's pass up to Recupero. Recupero taps one out to the near side to Prisco. Prisco boots one upfield as Hopkinton gets it down to the Brookline end. Green takes it, pass back, Recupero. Recupero challenging, cutting across, a shot missed wide.
Recupero got around two Brookline defenders, just rifled it a little bit right of the post. It bounced away. Recupero, she has been dangerous and menacing for Hopkinton really throughout the game. She's got the goal, but she created multiple chances in addition to that.
Now the pass goes back to Hall. Hall pass up. McKenna Hammond, I think, whiffed on that touch. And it's knocked up by Clark now as it's taken by McGee. McGee turns around, kicks it across to Kesselman. Kesselman up to Chernychev, across to Leshley, who's now playing at midfield. Leshley dribbling up with it. Leshley trying to tap one through. Just missed Jada Kimbrough as it's kicked out of bounds by the Hopkinton defense.
And it's been a couple times this game that Anna Leshley has run unscathed by the defensive pressure. She almost hits Kimbrough there.
Throw in. Battling along this near side. A kick crosses in, headed away by the Hillers defense, and Kulkarni sends it upfield, intercepted by Kesselman, recovered by Vianello, who's back in the game. Vianello trying to gain the edge on the far side, and they call her for the push in the back, and that's going to be a free kick for Hopkinton.
Brookline catches a tough break there, looking to apply as much pressure as they can to get that one chance that Brookline really needs to level this one out. That's been what they've been missing, trying a little bit too hard there for it.
This kick goes low as they work it along the far side. Kick upfield, knocked back and forth. And now it looks like Recupero to take it. Recupero now dribbling with some space We know how dangerous she can be as she passes one up for Green and blocked just barely by a sliding Sherwin. And now McGee gets it up to Leshley as Brookline takes possession. Leshley, a pass up the far side for Vianello. Vianello tries to kick it up the line off the pressure from Colleran. And McKenna Hammond races down and gets it. Jukes off her defender, but the pass misses. Leshley flies into open space where it's taken by Kulkarni. Kulkarni dribbling up with it. Pass forward, booted away by Babette Hall. And they call an offsides as they say Hammond couldn't be the first to touch the ball because she came back from an offsides position.
Brookline getting unlucky there, but Sherwin saving a certain goal for Hopkinton would have made it 2-0 and would have really put almost a nail in the coffin in this one. Brookline staying alive at the doorstep of death there.
The free kick from Clark off the head of Kesselman, out of bounds.
Now these teams battling at midfield, but a quick counter there from Hopkinton, and that's another clear chance for the Hillers that Brookline still hasn't gotten to. And Brookline, they've come close to scoring goals even with half chances. If they can get that one chance, I believe they'll be able to get their goal.
Ball's taken by Vianello. The kick deflects out of bounds. It'll be a Brookline throw-in. Throw-in goes to Leshley. Leshley turning around, looking. Taps it back to Kesselman. Kesselman over to Chernychev. Chernychev back to Hall. Hall over to McGee on the near side. Pass to the middle is taken by Paige Hammond, but too much traffic, loses the ball, and Green takes it. Green sends one forward for Natalie Prisco, and she gets tripped up by Hall. That's going to be a free kick for Hopkinton.
Getting run down by Hall, bodied, but just calling a foul. Dangerous free kick opportunity from Hopkinton. They've had a lot of free kicks from the left side. This one, the first from the right. It's a possibility to curl this ball into the box for a header.
Zoganatos lighting up. Kick flies in high. Headed out by Leshley. McKenna Hammond touches it out to the far side as Clark kicks it out of bounds. Will be another Brookline throw-in.
Clark under pressure. Brookline been doing a good job to press up with their attacks.
This ball bouncing through the middle. Paige Hammond with it. Pass across to McGee. McGee up the line, goes off ahead the wrong way for Hopkinton, and that's going to roll out of bounds. That'll be a Brookline throw-in. Freeze picks it up quickly, throws it into Leshley. Leshley taps it back for Freeze. Freeze dribbling towards the middle, looking around for somewhere to go. Boots it out to the far side to Kesselman. Kesselman dribbling up with it. Kicks one low, deflects through, and Scaff just reaches out and snags it away from a crashing Leshley.
Kesselman blasting it with all she can, creating traffic, and yet again, a near chance for Brookline, but not enough.
Scaff punts this one, downed by Chernychev. Passes over to Paige Hammond. Back to Kesselman and up to Chernychev once again. Chernychev looking around, sends it back to Kesselman again. Kesselman sends it up to Kimbrough, who taps it back to Leshley. Leshley, pass blocked, but she recovers. Now swings it over to the middle to Chernychev. Chernychev dribbling, pass forward, Freeze. Tap back, McKenna Hammond. Her kick ricochets like a pinball, recovered by Chernychev. Chernychev's pass back to Kesselman. Kesselman looking, pass forward blocked, knocked away, and Recupero starting to take off with it. Kesselman battling her for it and takes it away. Now a pass out to Vianello. Vianello battling on the far side, lost out of bounds, stays Brookline ball. Quick throw in, Leshley. Leshley along that far sideline, passes out. Chernychev slides one over to Kimbrough, who tried an extra pass but got away from McKenna Hammond. And this one booted out by the Hillers. Off the head of Kesselman, out of bounds, Hopkinton ball.
Still in.
Oh, it's still in. Oh, good call, Sam. Sometimes I see a ball fly and I just make assumptions. Near side, McGee. Kick blocked by Natalie Prisco. Kicked back up by Hall. Swooping in for it is McKenna Hammond. Pass back, Anna Leshley. Leshley stolen away by Recupero. Recupero battling, hit from behind by Leshley, and they're going to call the foul.
And more contact involving Leshley, another foul on her. She's been playing a real tenacious game in the midfield, strong in the attack, really physical play. Pretty decent free kick opportunity, a long free kick, but a straightaway free kick.
We'll see what they decide to do with Nina Zoganatos lining up once again for the free kick. They've got players scattered all over the field as opposed to the clump you'd see in a big crossing chance. And they're just going to send it back and play conservative, try and hold the clock. Mosher's kick deflected away by Hammond. Swooping in out of nowhere is Natalie Prisco, blocked by Hall. And some physical play, but no call as it's booted away, but knocked down. Covered by Hopkinton, pass upfield, intercepted by McGee, who gets a sliding kick across the field, intercepted by Recupero. Recupero dribbling. Pass to the outside. Colleran back to Recupero. Recupero dribbling, looking around, pass back to Colleran. Hopkinton can take their time as they've got the lead here. Recupero finding the edge, dribbling in along the baseline, and it's knocked out of bounds. And that's going to be a corner kick for Hopkinton, their first of the second half. I think that might be their first corner kick of the game.
Looks like it is, Jesse. And Hopkinton, they've just been focused on more controlling the possession. Here later in this game, Hopkinton was focused more on the counter in the early second half, late first half when they were having big attacking chances, now playing slower.
And they continue the slow play with this slow pass back. Zoganatos now taking off with speed, breaking through. Crosser gets past the goalie, and it is knocked in by Myron O'Connor.
O'Connor hit it to herself, played it up, and then pokes it in with nobody guarding. And now Hopkinton takes a 2-0 lead, and they're proving why they're undefeated so far this season.
Started with the big burst of speed from Nina Zoganatos, who gets the assist on the play. As we were just talking about how Hopkinton was moving things kind of slow, and I think they saw Brookline kind of relax a bit as Zoganatos took off with a big burst of speed and managed to find an opening to send a crosser through to Marin O'Connor, who scores Hopkinton's second goal of the day. And with a multi-goal deficit, you know, that's going to be really tough to come back from here in the second half.
For sure, Jesse. And Hopkinton focused on possession, as you were saying, getting Brookline relaxed, and then out of nowhere, Zoganatos with that burst of speed, catching Brookline napping a little bit, then playing it in and getting the goal for Hopkinton. And now Brookline, they'll definitely need to wake up. If they want any chance of winning this game, should be really tough. It's Hopkinton, they've gotten those golden chances. And O'Connor, when we talk about golden chances, that's a golden chance if I've ever seen one. Nobody home, not even the goalkeeper.
Well, the problem was the goalie was playing Zoganatos, thinking Zoganatos might shoot it. She had to cut off that far side post. And so then she went for the pass. And once she went for the pass, because everyone was covering for Zoganatos,
Smart play from her.
Yeah, absolutely smart play.
Just team focus, possession focus. Hopkinton, they were good on the counter earlier in this game. They've played a bunch of different styles, and they've really executed in everything. And what counts isn't, it's not how many shots you get, it's not how many chances you get, it's how many goals you get and how good you can execute in those big moments, and that's what Hopkinton's done.
Yeah, and execution really is everything. It's got to be able to play the bounces you get and play the passing lanes that you get. Sometimes they can be kind of tight, but Hopkinton executed well. I mean, that was a nice look for Marion O'Connor, but it didn't feel like as much of a golden opportunity as Recupero's shot that was wide open with a straightaway look. That one was one they had to get with timing, and they just executed it perfectly. Brookline trailing 2 goals now here in the second half. And Brookline's got to make something happen as Kesselman tried to kick that one up, but it's blocked. And now it's lost out of bounds, Hopkinton ball.
It's closing out, and Hopkinton, we'll see if they keep with the possession focus.
Pass from Hall goes up to Leshley. Leshley battling with Zoganatos. Pass up blocked and booted away by the Hillers. Once again recovered by Kesselman. Kesselman up to Chernychev. Chernychev dribbling. Surveying her options. Pass forward finds Freeze. Freeze trying to battle her way through but lost the ball. Recovers it but lost her burst of speed there as she has to pass it back to Kesselman. Kesselman up to Chernychev. Chernychev lifts one out the far side, too high for Vianello, out of bounds.
And Hopkinton keeping all their defenders back, playing more defenders back now than before as they go even more defensive.
Throw in. Slid past, and now a race up that far sideline. And a crosser flies in, a chance for Natalie Prisco. A shot saved, but still there to be knocked in. That one was knocked in, I think, by Natalie Prisco. Could not be stopped. My view was blocked a bit by a fan, but I do believe that is goal number 3 for the Hillers.
Prisco getting it in. And the Hillers there, we were talking about the slow possession-based attack. The Hopkinton Hillers just ran it right by the far side. Sprinting by Brookline's defense, still caught napping. And all the heart and soul of Brookline, their momentum just zapped with that 3rd goal.
And that's Riley Colleran, who I believe gets her 2nd assist, I think, unless I saw who it was. It was a bit tough to see on the far side with the sun glaring at us, but Hopkinton with their 3rd goal is not so much catching Brookline napping, I think, as they caught them being forced to play overly aggressive and just really strong on that counterplay, like you said before, Sam. Long kick from Kesselman sails way high and over the bar.
And Kesselman trying her luck, put it on frame, but a bit too much on it. Was headed for the goal. She had a bit less power, and at this point, Brookline down 3-0. You might as well take that shot.
Brookline just trying to see if they can get something on the board here. They have only been shut out once so far this season. That was their season opener against defending state champion and 1st ranked in the power rankings, Natick. So Brookline trying to generate some offense here as this one bouncing along. McGee chasing after it. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball. Throw in, and it's tapped back to Chernychev. Chernychev slices one into the box. Deflected down by Colleran. Colleran kicks it out the sideline to prevent the corner kick.
And Brookline trying to get a looping cross in there.
And that one goes out of bounds off the head of Vianello. It'll be a throw-in for Hopkinton.
It's Brookline, they've had much more time in the final third in this latter part of the second half.
And we got some kind of a violation on Hopkinton, and now Brookline gets to throw it in. Quick throw-in goes to Leshley. Leshley turning around, tried to send a kick through, but walled, but now a kick comes in, and it's saved by Scaff. I didn't even see who got their foot on that. Was it Kimbrough?
Looked like Kimbrough.
But either way, it's saved again by Taylor Scaff.
Scaff, she's had to make a lot of saves, but a lot of saves from outside the box. Brookline haven't been able to really creep in whatsoever.
That one is going to bounce out of bounds and be Brookline ball. McGee throws it in. Freeze. Fighting for it, knocked out of bounds by Mosher. Another throw-in goes to Leshley. Leshley turning around, pass to the middle for Cannon. Cannon couldn't corral it. Slide kick away by Zaganatos. And now dribbling the other way, Recupero. Knocked loose by Kesselman, but Recupero recovers, and an offsides call against O'Connor, who was racing in trying to get her second goal of the day, but called for the violation.
Recupero racing by Mirabel Kesselman, getting in there to block it, and then the offsides being drawn.
Kesselman up to Chernychev, back to Hall. Hall kicks it upfield, blocked by Emma Prisco. Priscilla Hill recovers, gets hit hard from behind, and there's the whistle for the foul. So Brookline will get a free kick here as they try and line up fast. And Brookline rushing the kick from Freeze to Leshley. Leshley couldn't get around Colleran there, and Colleran smartly kicks it out of bounds for the throw-in.
Colleran watching the communication between Freeze and Leshley. Brookline almost two-rush there.
Kimbrough kicks one high over the head of Cannon. Cannon chases it down, taps back, Kesselman. Kesselman steps up, winds, kicks one wide.
Kesselman having her luck once again. Hit it wide left to the goal.
And there is the triple whistle, and that is your ball game. The final score, the Hopkinton Hillers 3, the Brookline Warriors 0. Hopkinton remains perfect in their season so far at 11-0. Brookline falls down below 500 at 4-5-2. Goals for Hopkinton from Madison, Recupero, Mayrin O'Connor, and Natalie Prisco.
And you got to think, Jesse, after this game, Hopkinton's power rankings have to shoot up. Now, 11-0, the Hillers, and a win against a highly ranked team in Brookline in a division above them. A tough loss for Brookline, and I think the Hillers will definitely be cemented as one of the upper echelon teams here in Massachusetts.
Oh, no question about that, but what's tough is it's calculated. They do it with math. So one game can't have as much of an impact necessarily as people think, at least not until towards the later stages of the season. But Hopkinton definitely deserves respect. A Final Four participant last year, undefeated last year, just one tie, and made it third in the power rankings last year. They came into this one ninth, but show that that power ranking perhaps does not reflect where they are in contention, and perhaps last year's ranking more reflective of where they are in the grand scheme of things. But Sam, thank you so much for joining me today. I always appreciate having you on. And thank you all, folks, for tuning in today. Alongside Sam Lowenstein, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you once again to Esch Dental for sponsoring this broadcast. Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS Sports parent, Dr. Brandon Esch, for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eshdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. You can find all that information down in the description section down below. You can also find a link to the official Venmo account of the Friends of BHS Soccer Booster Club, which supports all 6 Brookline High soccer teams, girls and boys, varsity, JV, and freshmen. You can also find links for our local charity Spotlight, Brookline Cares. And if you check out further down in the description section of the video or the bottom right corner of your screen, you can see some links related to me, my personal website, jessesports.com. Find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And remember to follow me on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, where I sometimes post highlights from previous live streams and the links to upcoming live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Final score, Hopkinton 3, Brookline 0. Alongside Sam Lowenstein from Skyline Park in Brookline, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.